You are listening to Single Smart Female, Romantic Fairy Godmama Edition. Today's show is sponsored by thecouragekit.com. Are you tired of meeting craptastic men, going on craptastic dates, and feeling craptastically inept at dating and love? Let us rework your dating experiences, single lady. Fun, pleasure, and magic included. No experience required. We'll see you at thecouragekit.com.
Welcome, Single Smart Female, to Show 52. I'm your host, Jen Burton, romantic fairy godmama to smart, successful single women around the world. And today I'm joined by my oh-so-lovely co-host, Steph, my romantic fairy godmama apprentice as well. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Jen.
Today we have an exciting topic.
We do.
Indeed. How to take a lover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably my first thought as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about this topic quite a lot lately. Not because I'm in the market for a lover.
I was like, "Oh, are you taking a lover?" This is very exciting news.
But it's a great topic, and I like talking about it with my clients because it is an option in your romantic journey. It's an option that most women don't really talk about too much because of the stigma that they think is attached to it, which I'm not going to say that there's not any stigma. I think that there is some stigma attached to it, but I think something really special happens when a woman decides to take this possibility in her life and make it her own, make it extraordinarily special to her, and use it as something fulfilling in her romantic journey versus something she just does because
she thinks that's what he wants.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk about the dynamics today in our Romantic Fairy Godmama edition of Single Smart Female. We're going to talk about the dynamics of taking a lover and some do's and don'ts and all that good stuff in between, because there is a way to do this that will enrich your life versus take something from you or leave you feeling absolutely on the icky side of things.
Right.
And we're going to start with number one. And the first thing that I think is really, truly important about taking a lover, and I'm not talking from a male's perspective at all. I'm talking about strictly a female perspective here. For women, it's important to understand the time frame of being a lover. Now, there is a big movement out there, and we'll talk about that in a minute, of women trying to, ever since the feminist movement, women have been trying to take our power back in sex. And I think that that's a fantastic thing. But we also have to understand and honor the dynamics of being a woman taking a lover versus trying to be just like a man and take a lover, because it's a completely different dynamic and it's a completely different mindset. And the first thing you have to understand, and what I teach women, is that normally women can't have ongoing sex with the same man for more than, say, 6 months without developing feelings for him. And Steph and I talked about this a little bit earlier, and you were even saying that that number might be a lot less.
Yeah, I feel like once you're about 3 months in, it is you start to catch the feels. And then that's different for everyone, of course. Some people may be able to go longer than 6 months without developing feelings, but we are women, and it's perfectly natural for us to develop feelings for people that we're spending
time with, especially being
exactly.
Physically intimate with, because the intimacy will at some point start to cross lines, no matter how hot the sex is. Which, something that I love, somebody I've been studying more lately is a famous 17th century French Parisian courtesan named Ninon de l'Enclos. And this woman specifically wouldn't take lovers for more than 3 months. And I think it's because of the fact that the possibility of developing those feels. That's my interpretation of her behavior. So she wanted to make sure that she didn't dive into the messiness of the emotions, and she could keep her status as the most successful courtesan of her time and not have to worry about the repercussions of the emotional
developing feelings.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's fascinating to look at and to explore those ideas of women who have historically taken on lovers and how they did it. It's really interesting to assess. Now, number 2, in taking a lover and how to take a lover, you have to, as a woman, teach a man how to pleasure you.
That's key. Oh, if you're going to take the time to take a lover,
teach him how to pleasure you.
Exactly.
Because once you start, if you only focus on his pleasure, which a lot of women do because we don't really recognize all of our pleasure points, so to say, all of the different levels of pleasure that we can experience throughout our body. We're fearful of our body. We're self-conscious of our body. So it's easier sometimes for us to focus on a man's pleasure. We lose ourselves in that process, and he loses a very important sexual turn on, which is knowing how to pleasure you.
I was just going to say that most men that I've ever talked to about sex, their biggest turn on is being able to pleasure the woman.
Yes.
Like that's what they find super sexy. That's what they want to do. That's all they want to do. And so to not take the time to, one, learn yourself what you enjoy and teach it to your lover, you're really you're taking away from both of your experience.
I agree. I 100% agree, because otherwise, what's the point of all this? What's the point of using this on your romantic journey as a tool to take care of yourself, to explore yourself romantically, if you're just going to make it about him? Which brings me to number 3. Ladies, I know you've heard me say this before, but don't call it boning. Please don't ever call it boning again. You're allowed one time to call it boning, but you're not going on a boning spree. You are taking a lover. There is nothing empowering about boning. All you're doing is adapting a very masculine idea, attaching yourself to it, and calling that sexy. It's not fucking sexy to call it boning. You are not sticking your penis in him for the most part. Maybe
you could.
You could.
There are ways.
We know that there are ways, but most of you are on the receiving end of this. So if you want to call it receiving, great. Being pleasured, great. Taking a lover, great. But you're not fucking boning. So please stop calling it boning. Don't sound powerful. You're not empowered. It's not sexy. It's not hot.
Jen.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the term boning?
Fuck you, stuff.
So much love.
So much love on the mic right now. Please stop calling it boning. Number 4. Understand that even with the best of intentions, feelings do happen. Steph was talking about catching the feels earlier.
Yeah.
And do understand that if you take a lover, regardless of what your intention is going into it, because you're being intimate with somebody physically, that can cross an emotional line. Yeah. And sometimes it can happen a lot faster than the timeframes that we were talking to you about. I'm not going to tell you that you should stuff those feelings down, because I don't think that that's what life is about. I think you definitely should respect the fact that maybe if you entered into an agreement and you two are being lovers, that's one thing. But at a certain point where, say, you develop feelings, I think it's really important for you to acknowledge that, explore that idea, and then you can communicate that with him and decide whether or not you want to continue the sexual relationship or not. But it's so very critical that you not pretend, especially sexually, to not have feelings.
Yeah.
Super important. Number 5, don't ever become fuck buddies with a man you are secretly hoping to win his heart.
That's a big one.
It's devastating.
Have you done that?
Yes. It's not fun. You think you're going to win them over in the bedroom, which, by the way, ladies, you might be phenomenal at sex, but you don't win a man's heart in the bedroom. You know that whole, she's a freak in the sheets and a lady in the streets?
Yeah.
Or I think it's, I can't remember.
Yeah, lady in the streets, freak
in the sheets. Yeah. It's such a bullshit notion for quality guys. Yes, they like to have sexual exploration, but that's not where they're going to fall in love with you at. They're going to fall in love with your mind and how they feel about you outside of the bedroom. And then the inside of the bedroom is going to be the cherry on top, but it is not the foundation. It is not where you are going to win his heart almost ever.
Right.
Now, there are a couple guys, but trust me, these aren't the guys that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Trust me on that. The other thing about this is I feel that when women call it fuck buddies, it's another masculine approach to, and it's not even on the same level as a woman taking a lover. When she makes the choice and she fully steps into her romantic power and acknowledge who she is as a woman, and then invites a man into her life romantically, sexually, and takes him on her pleasure journey as well. Meaning, when you call it a fuck buddy and you enter into a fuck buddy agreement or friends with benefits, that it's sometimes called as well, that this takes you out of your pleasure and makes it, again, all about him.
Yeah.
And I've seen clients do this again. They'll tell me I'm in this fuck buddy relationship or friends with benefits relationship. And I can see it already, whether they're willing to admit it or not, that there's just a level of, I wish this was something more. And I'm hoping by rocking his fucking world here, that it's going to turn into something really special. And I'm going to say 90 to 98% of the time,
it doesn't.
Mm-mm.
You know, I think one of the key reasons why it doesn't, too, is if you have taken on this role as a friends with benefits situation or fuck buddy, and that's not what you want, then you're being inauthentic. And that's not...
It's not seductive.
It's not seductive.
It's a false sense of you. And I think women get so caught up in what they think men want versus figuring out what they want and then sharing who they are with men, who they truly are with men, that they lose sight of what's really important to men. Men are, as we mentioned before, truly interested in your pleasure. They want to know how to turn you on outside of the bedroom as well as inside of the bedroom. So it's not all about them. And if you find a man who it's truly all about him, then just move your attention to a guy, and there's plenty of them out there, who wants to make it about the both of you.
Exactly.
Which brings me to number 6. Don't call this fuck buddies. So one phrase I hate almost as much as boning would be fuck buddies.
Really?
Yes, it's a genuinely disempowering phrase. You are not achieving cool girl status by calling it fuck buddies, or friends with benefits is I like a little bit better.
It's a little softer.
It's a little softer. But ladies, this isn't about being like men. This is owning who we are, having our pleasure, having the things that we want in life, and enjoying men as well, and coming together and having incredible experiences together. This is not about turning men all the time. Speaking of, I'm going to go off on another little tiny rant here. Bachelorette parties. Bachelorette parties fucking make me so mad. Why? Because what do women do? They wear penises all over them as if somehow they're being turned on by that. No woman wearing a penis is ever genuinely turned on.
Well,
wait. You tell me, Steph. Please enlighten me. Please enlighten me.
No, I'm sorry. I went like way deep. You're talking about like penis necklace around your neck, but some women do wear penises and are generally genuinely turned on in a much specific way. But what you're referring to, no, I don't know that there's any woman that wants to wear a penis on her forehead and finds that attractive, and or drinking through a penis straw.
No, okay, I do take it back because there are some women who out there who make some extraordinarily gorgeous art, penis art, which I find very interesting and very fascinating. I'm not saying that penises are not visually pleasing in certain art forms.
Yeah, right.
Although I still can't. I love men. I love genitals, but testicles. I'm like, why? What? Why? Fun to play with.
I can tell you why, but
I know why.
Sex education.
But visually, they do nothing for me. They're fun to play with, though. I won't say that they're not. They do have a very important purpose. But visually, I'm not like
nature's stress relievers. Sorry. You know, like the stress balls.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, single smart female. Let's wrap up today's show on how to take a lover. And number 1 was understand the time frame of taking on a lover for a woman. Usually, if you max out at 6 months, that's not abnormal. It's very typical for women to develop emotional feelings during physically intimate encounters repeatedly with the same man over a period of time. Number 2, make sure you teach him to pleasure you, because otherwise this experience means nada. It's not doing anything for your romantic journey long term. Number 3, for the love of all that's adored, please don't ever call it boning again. Maybe one time, but that's it. You're allowed to call it boning once. And number 4, understand, even with the best of intentions, feelings can happen. They do. Even before the 3 to 6 month mark, they can develop, and sometimes rather quickly. Don't be afraid. Just understand that definitely can happen. And number 5, don't ever become fuck buddies with a man you are secretly hoping to win his heart. It will be very painful for you, most likely. Number 6.
Don't call it fuck buddy.
Thank you.
Sorry, it just looked like it was going to hurt you if it came out of your mouth. So I took that hit for you.
Oh, Steph, you're the best.
You're welcome.
You are absolutely the best. Thank you, Lover Girl, for joining us on this Romantic Fairy Godmama edition of Single Smart Female. Don't forget to subscribe to our show, as well as text message this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends. We'll talk to you next time, and here's to you having everything you want in life and love.
Today's show is sponsored by thecouragekit.com. Are you tired of meeting craptastic men, going on craptastic dates, and feeling craptastically inept at dating and love? Let us rework your dating experiences, single lady. Fun, pleasure, and magic included. No experience required. We'll see you at thecouragekit.com.